Hey, thank you for joining me for today's 5 for 5. I'm going to be in Luke 2:52. I'm going to jump straight into it today. Luke 2:52 is an interesting verse, especially if you have kids, to encourage them to think about how they're growing up. It says that Jesus increased in wisdom and in stature and in favor with God and man. Luke 2:52 comes at the very end of the encounter of Jesus in the temple after his 12th birthday. After he was 12 years old, his family went to the temple in Jerusalem for the Passover, as they did every year, it says in Luke 2. And on this occasion, though, his family packed up with all the group that was traveling back home to Nazareth. And as they were traveling, they had gotten almost a day away before they realized that Jesus wasn't with them. Well, Jesus, being a 12-year-old young man, he had a bit of independence now, and so they didn't think anything of him not being there at first until they realized he wasn't there. So they rush back to Jerusalem. They look everywhere. And it says after 3 days of being missing, they find him in the temple. And his parents are amazed that he would be there in the temple. They were thinking, why are you here? Why did you treat us this way? And he says, why were you looking for me? Did you not know that I must be in my Father's house? Even at the age of 12, Jesus had a realization that he was set aside for work. It's interesting to think about Jesus coming as a baby, Jesus living as a child, and even to imagine and wonder as he came and lowered himself to our state as humanity, how he grew up and became to realize and understand truly fully his calling and purpose. That Jesus Christ, God made flesh, would live and walk just as we did as children ourselves. And they find him in the temple, and he recognizes that that's the place he needs to be as he seeks to do the will of the Father. But in Luke 2:52, it gives us a quick transition from Jesus' childhood to his adult ministry. It says that he increased in wisdom and in stature and in favor with God and man. My boys continue to grow taller and taller. Back in January of 2017, Luke was just a mere 5 feet 7 inches. He was just a little bit taller than his mom. Today he's over 6 feet 2 inches, and he loves to come up and put his arm around me and put his arm around my shoulder and show me, remind me that he's taller than me now that I'm 6 feet and shrinking. And Benjamin, just at that same time, back in those days, was 3 feet 10 inches back in January of 2017. But now he stands at 4 feet 9 inches. And it's an interesting thing about our kids. We feed them and they keep growing. And in my case, my kids are growing taller and taller and taller than me. And they keep doing that. And looking at Benjamin, I'm estimating that by the time he's 12, 13, that he's going to be already catching up to where Luke was, because Luke has already been slowing down now at his height where he's at. And so Benjamin's got a little catching up to do, but he's right on his heels. And I'm wondering if I'm going to have two giants that are going to eventually come and put their arms around me. Every one of us keeps growing, either in height or in years, and sometimes in other ways that we may not want to grow. Every one of us grows in those ways. But Jesus grew in wisdom in addition to his years. In addition to his height, he grew in wisdom. Wisdom of the Lord, wisdom of the Word of God. And it's amazing to even think that God himself could grow in wisdom, but Jesus had lowered himself to the place of a human. And he would grow up in that faith as he trusted in the Father and sought after him. And he grew in wisdom. He grew in his height and his age, of course. But he also grew in favor with God and with men. I want to encourage you today to think about, as you get into the Word of God, as you grow in the wisdom of the Lord, as you grow in your knowledge of him, and truly even in the fear of the Lord, which is the beginning of wisdom, as we read in Proverbs, as you grow in all these ways, we don't want to just grow up in years. We don't want to just grow up in height. We truly want to grow in the wisdom of the Lord. And as we do that, to grow in our relationship with God, and a relationship that goes deeper and gets stronger and spills over to the relationships of those around us, to a point where we have favor with God, and we are blessed to be in his presence and to know him and to have that relationship with him, and that relationship spills over into a love for the people around us. Take Luke 2:52, take a look at it and see how Jesus grew up, and challenge yourself to see, are you growing up, whatever age you may be, in the same way? Hope you have a great day.